My name is Brent Reese. My title is producer, and I've been a producer since 2008. So I've been in the industry about 8 or 9 years now. I actually started off in media, but I made the switch to production back in 2008. So I've been with the Martin Agency and Studio Squared since 2007. I was always interested in video since a young age. I love videography. And when I was in undergrad, I started tinkering around in iMovie. So in like 2003, 2004, I started working with iMovie and just shooting videos for my strategic planning class. And I was like, this is so cool. I wonder if there's a part of advertising that I can do video production. And I didn't really realize that advertising agencies had producers. I just didn't know. It's not something that I went to school for. But when the opportunity presented itself at the Martin Agency, when Studio Squared came into existence, I was able to make the transition into production and haven't looked back since. But the way I look at being a producer is it's almost like you're a conductor for an orchestra. You're in charge of keeping everyone together, kind of the glue that keeps the creative team together. So on a daily basis, it could mean a wide variety of things. The main thing that the main thing that we do is we just communicate with everyone involved. So we're the point person between the creative team, the creative director, art director, copywriter, and any vendor or animator that we use, whether that be for a live action shoot or for animation or for some combination of the both. I liken it to running about 5 to 10 to 12 40-yard dashes every day. And you never know exactly when it's going to hit. You just have to be prepared to take that ball and juggle it and move it along. So we're constantly just redirecting things and just keeping things in the pipeline. And making sure that everyone's happy creatively, and then also we make sure that everyone gets paid. In an ideal world, we would become involved once the boards or the storyboards are starting to be created by our creative team. So that's usually towards the beginning of the process. If there's a creative brief, usually the creative brief is attended by the creative team, a producer, an account manager, and a strategy individual that has created the creative brief. And then we'll all get together, and then at that point, we can start working with the creative team to figure out exactly what they're hoping for, and then even start thinking about who they might want to use to either shoot, being an actual live action commercial, or an animator that they might want to hire. And then we can, as a producer, go and talk to that person on the side and see if they're available, get them on hold, and just whatever we need to do to get those boards forward. There's a lot of back and forth between the client and the creatives during the board creation process. As producers, we're not as heavily involved with, but once we have an approved set of storyboards, at that point like I mentioned before, we just go. Once we get approval, we're ready to go, and at that point you've already prepared a lot of things. The estimate's been created, people have been hired, budgets have been figured out, and schedules have been managed, and at that point kind of the scope of the work, and you're able to communicate that to all the key people involved. For me, the most fulfilling is I love having a project that you can see the beginning, middle, and end. And so for me, it's thrilling to kind of see something on air, and it still excites me. I know it's silly to say it, but after all these years, I still enjoy going into Walmart now and then and seeing the work that I've created on screen. So whenever I go out of town, if I'm around a Walmart, I'll just pop in for a few minutes, no matter what state I'm in, and it's really neat to kind of see that our work has such a national impact. As a producer, we live and die by trust. So if our creative teams don't trust us, then they won't put that faith in us to be able to execute their ideas, not only to hire the right directors with their input, but also to work with the animators or the post-production teams. There's a lot of trust that's involved with handing over the creative reins to other people to actually physically make the product and the projects for us. So I think as long as the creatives trust that you as a producer have their best interests at heart, that you want the spot to be as good as possible, to be as brilliant as possible and look as good as possible, that trust is key to having advertising magic. I think the best thing you can do is get a camera in your hands and just explore. Really, if you're passionate about it, start recording your own videos. learn how to use software, especially I think that the Adobe Creative Suite, so Premiere, all of like Illustrator, Photoshop, After Effects, a lot of these programs that Adobe provides are really important to learn. And that's something that I would do, is just get involved with all the gear that you can, all the software that you can. Advertising is, it's interesting. It can definitely have its highs and lows, but it's always fun. And you got to make it fun, and you got to be able to roll with the punches. I think some of the misconceptions are that it's a party all the time, and that we're all like madmen. It's not. It's a lot of hard work, and sometimes it's very unglamorous. Yeah, we are able to wear jeans to work, but we still are professionals. We still work hard, and I guess it's just kind of finding that balance. So our audience is very diverse. The people we're actually creating these commercials for are very diverse. I think it's vital for us to be diverse as advertisers, because how on earth are we going to know how to speak to everyone unless we ourselves are reflective of that diversity? So I think it's super crucial for us to become even more diverse than we are, because stories that are told by the same people for years can grow stale. And with advertising, we have to be on the cutting edge, not only in storytelling, but also in diversity and reaching people who may have been neglected in the past.